His mom told him I was cheating on him, and he destroyed our marriage overnight. I always thought the first real crack in a marriage would be something big, a betrayal, a fight, a terrible mistake. Not a phone call, not a whisper, not a single lie from a woman who had hated me since the day I married her son. It started on a Thursday night. I was cooking dinner, humming to myself, thinking about nothing in particular. The house felt warm, peaceful, normal. I didn't know that while I was stirring a pot of pasta, my husband, Aaron, was sitting in his car in our driveway, gripping the steering wheel so hard his knuckles had turned white. I didn't know he had just gotten off the phone with his mother, and I definitely didn't know she had just told him the one thing she knew would shatter him. "She's cheating on you, Aaron. I saw her with him. I'm so sorry, honey." Her voice dripping with fake sympathy. When Aaron finally walked inside, he didn't kiss me, he didn't say hello, he didn't smile like he always did. He just stood there in the doorway, staring at me like I was a stranger in his house. I remember wiping my hands on a towel and asking, "Hey, are you okay?" He didn't answer. He just asked one question, sharp, cold, deadly. "Where were you today?" That was the moment everything in my body told me something was wrong. I told him the truth. I was at work, at the same place I'd been for every weekday for the last 4 years. He nodded, but not like someone listening, more like someone collecting evidence, someone looking for cracks, someone already convinced. Dinner went untouched. He barely spoke. He slept on the far edge of the bed. The next day was worse. He checked my phone when he thought I wasn't looking. He watched me like I was an intruder. He left the room every time his phone buzzed. By Saturday, he wasn't speaking to me at all. And Sunday he broke. He stood in the living room, shaking with anger, holding a stack of papers in his hand. Divorce papers. I laughed at first, not because it was funny, but because I was so confused my brain refused to process reality. "This isn't a joke," he said. "I know about him." "Who?" I asked. He wouldn't even say a name, because there was no name, no man, no affair, just his mother, just her voice, just her hatred. I begged him to talk to me, to explain, to show me anything, evidence, messages, photos, something. But he had nothing, just a lie he accepted as truth. And the worst part, he trusted that lie more than he trusted me, his wife of 6 years. That night, he packed a suitcase. Not all his things, not even most of them, just enough to leave in anger. Before he walked out the door, he said something I will never forget. "My mother has never lied to me." He didn't say goodbye. He didn't look back. He just slammed the door so hard the picture frames rattled. I sank to the floor. I cried until my throat burned, until my body hurt, until the sun came up and I realized he wasn't coming back. Not that night. Maybe not ever. The next morning, his mother called me. Not to comfort me, not to explain, just to finish what she started. Her voice was calm, almost pleased. I told him the truth. "You're not right for him. You never were." And for the first time, I realized this wasn't an accident. It wasn't a misunderstanding. It wasn't confusion. It was a plan. And I had no idea just how far she had already gone or how much worse it was going to get. The day after Aaron walked out, the house felt like a crime scene. Everything looked the same, but nothing felt the same. His shoes were still by the door. His favorite mug was still on the counter. His jacket was still draped over the couch like he'd be back any minute. But he wasn't coming home. Not to talk,
Not to listen, not even to yell. He just vanished. By noon, I tried calling him again. Straight to voicemail. I texted, "Please, just talk to me. I didn't cheat. You know me." Left unread. No reply. Then the messages started. Not from him, from people I didn't even know. Women I'd never met, friends of his mother, random cousins, all sending vague, judgmental comments. Marriage only works if you stay loyal. Aaron deserves better. Karma will get you. I always knew something was off about you. And the worst one. From his mother's number, but written like she wanted Aaron to see it. You broke my son. I wanted to scream. I wanted to tear the phone in half. I wanted Aaron to burst through the door and say, "This is insane! I'm sorry! Let's fix this!" Instead, the silence dragged on like a punishment. That evening, I checked our joint bank account. My stomach dropped. Aaron had removed his name from it, then transferred half of our savings to an account I didn't recognize. He wasn't just leaving me. He was preparing for war, and I still had no idea why. I needed answers, fast, so I did something I never imagined I'd do. I called his mother. She picked up immediately, like she had been waiting. "Well," she said, "have you accepted what you did?" "What I did?" I snapped. "You lied to him. You know you did." "Oh, honey," she replied, voice dripping with fake pity. "I saw you with him. Aaron saw the photos. Just admit it." I froze. Photos? What photos? I demanded. She hung up. Just like that. Fear crawled up my spine. I didn't understand what kind of twisted game this was, but now I knew one thing. She wasn't guessing. She wasn't assuming. She had fabricated something. And she had photos. That night, after hours of crying into a pillow that still smelled like Aaron, I remembered something. His laptop was still in the house. He used it for work, always kept it on the desk. Maybe he left something. An email? A message? Anything? I opened it. Still logged in. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely control the mouse. In his email, I found nothing at first. Bills, receipts, car insurance reminders, then a folder labeled Private. Mom. My chest tightened. Inside were the photos. Blurred, grainy, obviously taken from far away. But they were me, standing outside my office building, talking to a man. A coworker. Nothing secret, nothing romantic, just two people talking on the sidewalk during lunch. But the way they were cropped, edited, zoomed in, they looked like we were holding hands, like we were leaning close, like we were whispering. And beneath the photos, a message from her mother. "See, she's been with him for months. I told you she would ruin your life. You need to leave before she destroys you completely." My breath left my body. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't suspicion. This was premeditated manipulation. She wanted me gone, not because she believed I cheated, but because she hated that I existed in her son's life at all. I was shaking with anger and heartbreak, but something inside me shifted. For the first time in days, I felt clarity. I wasn't going to let her get away with this. I wasn't going to lose my marriage to a lie. I wasn't going to let that woman rip apart everything Aaron and I had built. So I took screenshots of everything. Every photo, every message, every manipulation. And I sent a simple text to Aaron. "We need to talk. Tomorrow. Face to face. No excuses." I didn't know if he'd show up. I didn't know if he'd listen. But I knew one thing. This was far from over.
Aaron showed up the next morning, but not like my husband. Not like the man who used to kiss my forehead every morning or whisper, "Drive safe," even when I was just walking to the kitchen. He arrived like a stranger, cold, closed off, guarded. He stood on our porch with his arms crossed, jaw clenched so tight I could see the muscle twitch. For a moment, he just stared at me, like he was waiting for me to break down and confess to something I didn't do. But I didn't break. I opened the door wider. "Come in." He hesitated, then stepped inside, keeping distance between us like I was contagious. Fine, two can play this game. We sat at opposite ends of the living room. Silence hung between us like thick fog. Finally, I spoke. "Aaron, I saw the photos." He didn't react. Didn't blink. Didn't even breathe, it seemed. "I know your mom sent them to you, and I know she told you I've been cheating." He looked away, jaw tightening again. "I don't want to fight." "I'm not here to fight. I'm here to show you the truth." I slid the laptop toward him, opened to the folder labeled Private Mom. His eyes widened for half a second. It was the first real emotion he showed since everything started. "Where did you—" I said, "You left it here, and I saw everything." He swallowed hard, like the truth was bitter on his tongue. For a long moment, he just stared at the screen, the photos, the messages, his mother's manipulations right in front of him. His chest rose and fell, uneven and shaky. He wasn't angry. He wasn't yelling. He was confused. "Why would she—" he whispered, almost to himself. "Because she never wanted us together. You know that." He shook his head. "No, she's protective, that's all." "Protective doesn't mean creating fake evidence. Protective doesn't mean destroying your marriage." And then he said the words that nearly broke me. "She said she saw you kissing him." I closed my eyes because it physically hurt. "Aaron, does that look like a kiss to you?" I pointed at the photos. Two coworkers, talking, standing apart. He stared at them so long I thought he might cry. But then something in him snapped. "Why were you even talking to him like that anyway?" My heart dropped. "No," I whispered. "You don't get to do that. You don't get to take her word and twist everything I do." He ran his hand through his hair, breathing hard. I don't know what to believe anymore." "Well, maybe you should start with the person you married," I shot back. He flinched. And then he finally broke. Not in anger, in truth. "You don't understand. My mom, she's all I have. She raised me alone. She worked 2 jobs. She sacrificed everything. I owe her my life." "And you think I didn't sacrifice anything to be with you?" I said quietly. "I moved cities. I changed my career path. I cut ties with people who treated you badly. I chose you. Every single day." His eyes filled with tears, but he wiped them away quickly, like he was ashamed to show anything in front of me. "Aaron," I said softer, "loving your mom doesn't mean letting her control you." He looked down, whispering, "She said you'd destroy me. And she destroyed us first." Silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. Then I asked the question I had been terrified to ask. "Do you believe I cheated?" He didn't answer. Not with words. He just closed his eyes. And his silence was worse than any accusation, because silence meant he still wasn't choosing me. Silence meant the lie still lived inside him. Silence meant his mother's voice was louder than mine. I stood up. "If you can't say you believe me, then there's nothing left for me to save." He looked up sharply. "Wait. No." I said, You didn't trust me when it mattered. You didn't even talk to me before you signed divorce papers. His face crumpled. A mistake? I laughed bitterly. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is burning dinner. Filing for divorce because your mother sent you a blurry picture is not a mistake, Aaron. It's a choice. His lips trembled. I don't want to lose you. You already did. The moment you chose her lie over my truth. He looked shattered, completely broken. But I wasn't done. Your mother fabricated evidence. She stalked me. She manipulated you. And if you don't confront her, she will keep doing it. He swallowed. I don't know if I can. Then you're not the man I married. He stared at me with a kind of fear I'd never seen before. Not fear of me, fear of the truth, fear of the woman who had controlled him his entire life. Finally, he whispered, I'll talk to her. My heart didn't lift. Not even a little. Because in his voice, I heard something else. Fear. He wasn't preparing for a conversation. He was preparing for a war. And neither of us knew just how ugly it was about to get.
Aaron didn't go alone. He asked me to come with him, not because he wanted support, but because he was terrified of facing the truth without a witness. That alone told me everything. We drove to his mother's house in silence. The entire ride, Aaron gripped the steering wheel like he was bracing for impact. His breathing was uneven. His leg bounced uncontrollably. He looked like a child being dragged to confess something terrible. But I wasn't the one who had done something terrible. When we pulled into a driveway, Aaron's mother was already standing at the door, almost like she knew we were coming, almost like she'd been watching for us. She smiled at Aaron, wide, warm, fake. But when her eyes shifted to me, her entire face hardened. "Why is she here?" she asked coldly. Aaron swallowed. "Because we need to talk." That wiped the smile from her face. She stepped back, allowing us inside, but her eyes never left me, not even for a second. The house smelled like perfume and disinfectant. Everything spotless, everything placed perfectly. A home built on control. We sat in the living room, Aaron next to me, though he looked like he wanted to evaporate. His mother sat across from us, spine straight, expression sharpened like a blade. Aaron hesitated, then spoke. "Mom, I saw the photos." She blinked once, slowly. "And?" she asked. "And..." Aaron's voice cracked. "They're not what you said they were." Her jaw tightened just a flicker, but I saw it, a tiny crack in her mask. "I saw your messages too. You told me she was having an affair." "I told you the truth," she said smoothly. "I protected you." "Protected me from what, Anissa?" he snapped. "A conversation she had with a coworker?" Her mother's eyes narrowed. "You don't know what I know, Aaron." "Then explain it, because right now, all I see is a lie." She didn't answer. He tried again, voice shaking harder. "Mom, why would you do that? Why would you tell me she was cheating?" Then she laughed. Not loudly, not wildly. Just a quiet, cold, bitter laugh that sent chills down my spine. "Oh, Aaron, you really are blind, aren't you?" Aaron's eyes widened. "What is that supposed to mean?" "It means," she said slowly, "I wasn't going to let you throw your life away for her." I felt my blood turn to ice. Aaron leaned back, stunned. "Throw my life away, Mom. I married her." "Yes, and it was the biggest mistake you ever made." There it was. The truth. Sharp. Raw. Undiluted. She wasn't hiding her hatred anymore. "You don't like me," I said quietly. She turned to me like she had been waiting years to unleash what came next. "No," she said calmly, "I despise you." Aaron flinched like he'd been slapped. His mother continued.
You changed him. You pulled him away from me. You filled his head with ideas. You made him question me. Me, his own mother. I stared at her in disbelief. This isn't about cheating. This is about control. Control? She said with a just-a-touch smile. Sweetheart, I raised him. I built his life. I shaped every part of him. That gives me the right to protect what I created. Mom? Aaron whispered. You're talking like I'm a child? She interrupted. Yes, because you act like one. You always have. His breath hitched. She leaned in, eyes burning, and she pointed at me, is the reason you're slipping further and further away from me. That was the moment Aaron broke. Mom, I'm not your property, he said, voice trembling. Her face twisted. Yes, you are. Silence. Horrifying, suffocating silence. I felt Aaron's hand grab mine under the table, not out of affection, but out of fear. For the first time in his life, he was seeing his mother for who she really was. But she wasn't done. She stood abruptly and stormed to a drawer in the kitchen. When she returned, she held a manila envelope. I tried to warn you. I tried to stop this. But fine. Look for yourself. She threw the envelope on the table. Inside were more photos. Heavily edited. Poorly cropped. My face next to a man's face from an entirely different picture. Two bodies spliced together. Me smiling at something that wasn't even in the same frame. It would have been laughable if it wasn't so disturbing. Aaron stared, horrified. Mom, these are fake? They're proof. She spat. They're not even believable, he yelled. This isn't protecting me. This is insane. Her face went red. How dare he speak back? How dare he question her? She jabbed a finger at me. She is ruining you. She is taking you away from me, and I won't let that happen. Something inside Aaron finally snapped. Mom, he said, voice trembling. You already ruined everything. Her eyes went wide, as if he had betrayed her. You're choosing her? She whispered. I'm choosing the truth. And that was it. Her expression hardened into pure hatred. I won't forget this. You'll regret walking that door with her. When we stood to leave, she didn't follow. She didn't shout. She just whispered one chilling sentence as we stepped outside. You think this is over? You have no idea what I've already set in motion. Aaron froze. I grabbed his arm. But deep down, I knew. She wasn't bluffing. Something bigger was coming. Something worse. Something she had already planned long before today. And we were walking straight into it.
I thought the worst was behind us when we left his mother's house. I thought the manipulation, the lies, the photos, all of it had been exposed. I was wrong. His mother wasn't retreating. She was regrouping. And the first hit came less than 24 hours later. The anonymous tip. Aaron and I were sitting at the kitchen table, exhausted, drained, emotionally shattered. Neither of us had slept. We hadn't even eaten. Every few minutes, Aaron would run his hands through his hair and whisper, I can't believe she did that. I can't believe all those years. I tried comforting him, but the truth was, I didn't know how. How do you console someone who just realized their own mother spent years controlling their entire life? Then came the knock at the door. A sharp, aggressive pounding. Aaron stood up, confused. Who the hell? When he opened the door, 2 officers were standing there. My heart stopped. Are you Aaron Walker? One of them asked. Yes. We received an anonymous report of domestic disturbances at this address. Aaron froze. I froze. The officer stepped inside. What? Aaron said, voice shaky. There must be a mistake. We haven't... The officer held up a clipboard.
The caller reported screaming, emotional abuse, and said your wife might be in danger. My blood turned cold. His mother, it had to be her. Aaron has never hurt me, I said firmly. You can check everything. We're fine. They asked questions, inspected the house, watched us closely, looking for cracks, looking for danger. After 10 agonizing minutes, they realized it was a false report, but they left us with a warning. Anonymous calls can be made again. If it continues, we'll have to treat it as serious. The door closed. Aaron collapsed onto the couch, burying his face in his hands. She's trying to get me arrested, he whispered. She's really trying to destroy my life. Not just his life. Ours. The social smear campaign. That evening, my phone buzzed nonstop. Message after message, comments, tags, screenshots. His mother had posted the fake photos online, everywhere. Family group chats, neighborhood forums, Facebook, Instagram stories, even sent them privately to people from Aaron's workplace. The caption? Proof my daughter-in-law cheated and broke my son's heart. People believed her. Of course they did. She was older, a mother, a widow, a woman who sacrificed so much for her son. Sympathy poured toward her like she was the victim. Meanwhile, I was getting, "You disgust me. Homewrecker. I always knew you were fake. You don't deserve him." Poor Aaron. Poor Aaron, as if he wasn't sitting right next to me, shaking with shame and humiliation. He picked up his phone and tried calling her, straight to voicemail. He tried again. Blocked. The realization hit him like a physical blow. She didn't just lie. She prepared all this. She planned it. And then came the final strike. The lawyer. At 8:43 p.m., Aaron's phone buzzed. A text message from an unknown number. He opened it, stared for a moment, then slowly handed it to me. It was a message from an attorney. Aaron, your mother has reached out regarding concerns for your safety and well-being. She is attempting to file a petition to assume temporary guardianship due to emotional instability. My jaw dropped. Guardianship? I whispered. That's for people who can't take care of themselves. Aaron looked sick. She's trying to make me legally incompetent. And take control of your life again, I said. No, he whispered, eyes widening in horror. She's trying to take control of both our lives. If she gets guardianship, she can force the divorce. She can take everything. I hadn't even realized I'd started shaking. This wasn't just emotional manipulation anymore. This wasn't just lies. This was legal warfare. The break point. Aaron stood suddenly, pacing the floor like he was losing his mind. I can't do this, he whispered. I can't believe she'd go this far. She planned it, I said softly. Long before the photos, long before the lie. She's been waiting for the moment to take you back. He stopped walking, breathing hard, chest rising and falling rapidly. Then he said something I never expected. I think she wants me all to herself, forever. No wife, no family, just me. It sounded dramatic, but given what she'd already done, I believed him. The decision. Aaron grabbed my hands. We need a lawyer, he said, now, before she takes everything from us. His voice was a mixture of fear, desperation, and a small spark of determination. For the first time since this nightmare began, he wasn't choosing her. He was choosing me. But just as relief hit me, his phone buzzed again. A message from a block of unknown numbers. All saying the same thing. You won't win. Stop fighting her. I felt my stomach twist. It wasn't just her. She had people on her side. A whole network of supporters who believed every word. This wasn't a battle. This was a war. And she wasn't just trying to ruin our marriage. She was trying to erase me entirely. By the time we started the legal process, everything had escalated beyond belief. Aaron's mother didn't retreat. She doubled down. Every move she made was precise, calculated, aimed at destroying us completely. The day of the court hearing arrived. Aaron held my hand as we walked into the courtroom. He was pale, trembling like a man walking into war.
I could feel the fear radiating from him, but also determination. He wanted to face the truth finally. And there she was, his mother, standing tall with her lawyer beside her, surrounded by her own network of supporters. She smiled at Aaron, warm, fake, convincing. Then her gaze landed on me, cold, sharp like a blade. "You brought her?" she asked, voice ice. "Yes," Aaron said quietly. "We need to talk the truth." Her smile vanished, her calm mask cracked, just for a moment. Opening statements. Her lawyer presented her case, painting me as the manipulative, unfaithful wife. The photos she had fabricated were shown. The courtroom murmured. I felt my stomach drop. Then Aaron stood, his voice clear, trembling but strong. "Your Honor, my mother is lying. These photos are fake. This is manipulation. My wife has never cheated and she never would." The courtroom fell silent. Our lawyer then stood and presented the digital analysis. The photos were heavily edited, cropped, and manipulated. Metadata traced them directly to Aaron's mother's computer. Not my phone, not Aaron's, hers. She tried to deny it, claimed someone else had sent her the images, but the judge and the court could see the truth. Aaron finally spoke directly to his mother. "Mom, you can't keep controlling me. You lied. You manipulated me. You tried to destroy my life and my marriage." Her face twisted with rage and disbelief. "You're choosing her over me?" she whispered, shaking. Aaron's voice was calm now, but firm. "I'm choosing the truth. I'm choosing my wife. I'm choosing my life." Her network of supporters went silent. Her lawyers knew the case was lost. She realized in that moment that she had already failed. As we left the courtroom, she tried one last outburst. "This isn't over. You'll regret this." Aaron finally spoke, his hand on my back. "Mom, this ends now. We will not be controlled, manipulated, or threatened ever again." And for the first time, he meant it. Aftermath. Months passed. The fake photos and accusations were investigated. Aaron's mother's reputation was damaged in the community. Our marriage, though shaken, was stronger than ever. Aaron said something that still echoes in my mind. Sometimes the biggest enemy isn't a stranger, it's someone wearing the mask of family. And that day, we didn't just save a marriage, we reclaimed our lives, our happiness, our freedom.